Hey folks, Paul Reddick here. Welcome back to the Baseball Dads podcast. Have you ever wondered if your son is in the right program? Is he with the right coaches? And are you pushing him too hard? They're valid questions, right? I think every dad is asking those questions. I think, if they're going through my mind, trust me, they're going through a lot of dads' minds because I talk to all day long. That's what I do, is I talk to baseball dads about these things. And when I first started doing 5, 6, 7 calls with dads, I had 6 of them lined up, 15-minute calls, right one after the other. The very first call I did right after we opened it up was a guy who opened up the conversation with, I think baseball cost me my relationship with my son. And I'm going to tell you, my heart just sank into my foot. And honestly, I thought, what did I get myself into? If this is the way these calls are going to be, maybe this isn't a good idea. And if I didn't have them right back to back that day, I probably would have called my assistant and told her to cancel them. But what was unique about this situation is that the kid came to his father and he said, I'm not going to go. He was ready to go play in college. This was about a year ago, August, that I'm having this conversation. And he said, I'm not going to go. I don't want to play baseball. I've been doing this, pushing this, and you wanted me to do it. And I kind of went down this road and it kind of didn't know how to get out of it. He goes but just not what I want to do as I turn into an adult. And what was unique about that conversation was that the first time they had talked in weeks, they were not talking because of baseball. And so I had the call with the guy, and then we had another call. We had subsequent calls after that, and we've developed a relationship. And he told me 3 things. He told me 3 mistakes he made with his son. Number 1 was he pushed his kid too hard. He said that he could have accomplished 80% of what they accomplished with they could have accomplished 100% of what they wanted to accomplish with 80% of the effort they put in. Number 2, he said he put his son in the wrong programs. He said he watched these teams and these academies that were with his son. He watched them build their business around his son's ability. And he thought it was all fine, the way it was going, because, his son had some talent. They were nurturing his talent. The program was growing. They were winning, and so on and so forth. The third thing he said he made mistakes. He trusted the wrong coaches. He let guys win plastic trophies with his son's arm, and he let his son get thrown too much. So he pushed his kid too hard. He could have achieved everything with a lot less effort. They could have achieved everything they achieved, and maybe they would have had that time for more father-son things. Number 2, he put his son in the wrong programs. And I know how these programs work, right? They saw a kid with talent. Let's put this kid in our program. And then everybody that knows this kid's a super talent, knows he's going here, they'll all come here. And number 3, he listened to the wrong coaches that threw him too hard and gave him bad advice. And they used his son to fulfill their dreams of winning plastic trophies. And it's a difficult situation for parents to be in. Because here's how it starts, right? What your kid shows a little bit of talent, and then an academy, a travel team or whatever says, hey, you've got to go. This is the next step. This is where you're going. This is where you're headed. And this is the, this is the dream. And your kid has the ability to fulfill the dream. And, as I've told these stories more over the last year, I see, parents have emailed me more and called me and said, yeah, I got swept up in it too. And we were, some people were able to get out. Some people are not. Some people are in the middle of it. They don't know how to get out. I'm going to tell you what you have to look for. Every single dad that I talk to, so if you're just getting swept up in it, or if you're in it now, take advice from the guys who are out of it. So listen to this. Every single one of them told me about a moment in time where they made a bad decision. So it's gotten to be so predictable now that when I'm on the phone with one of these guys, I'll just say, when was it? And they always know what I'm talking about. They always know what I'm talking about. When I say, when was it? They say, I know what you mean. And they describe it in different ways, but my description of it is you broke your values. You saw something that you were like, that doesn't look good. That's not right. I don't know if I want that for my son. You saw what was going on and you decided to go forward or to let him play for this coach or to push him a little too harder when maybe you saw that he didn't want to. Or you let him play on a team that, maybe you didn't like the attitude of the coach, or you thought the coach was too focused on winning, or you thought that it was too intense, too highly competitive, too much competition among the kids on the team that are playing with each other, or you trusted the wrong pitching coach, or you trusted the wrong game day coach, or the wrong program that used him too much and threw him too much. You're like, should he pitch again? And the pressure of these situations is real. Right? Where if your kid's being asked to throw on short rest or he's thrown too much, and all of a sudden now it's like, hey, we have a chance to win this tournament if Johnny will pitch. And now what's Johnny going to do, right? Johnny's like, yeah, I pitch. I'm 12. I feel fine. And then Johnny doesn't realize that, he's putting those pitches like we've talked about like on a credit card, and that balance is going to come due when he's 15, 16. So when I asked dads a question, I said, when was it? When was the value break? When was the moment that you knew you moved outside of your values and you kind of let something slide a little bit? And what happens is the minute you let your values slide, you might as well push the whole thing off a cliff. Because once a coach knows he can throw your kid more and you're not going to say anything, he's going to keep throwing his kid. Once they know they can use your kid to build their business, their academy, and their travel team conglomerates, whatever these are now, they're going to go there. They're going to go there. I'm telling you, the business is getting ridiculously vicious. Almost to the point, I make it a habit to never mention people. I make it a habit to never mention anyone by name or by organization. But I'm going to tell you this. I have names and I have organizations that keep showing up in my inbox with complaints, with this guy's crazy, this guy is running a factory, this guy cuts kids the night before a tournament, we traveled to play in a tournament in California and he didn't put him on the tournament roster because they brought in some guest. I'm telling you, I get the same names. I'm seriously considering. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but the same names and the same organizations keep popping up in my inbox. And here's what's going to happen too, is that I think there's going to be a drive towards, first of all, regulation in the sport. I think you're seeing that with the high school pitch count rules. I don't like those rules. I don't think they're great. I think it's terrible that we need to have laws. We need to legislate coaches from abusing players. I think that's pretty embarrassing for baseball. I think there's going to be some serious regulation in there. I think there's going to be like number of games played coming soon. I think there's going to be number of trips outside of a certain radius. I think that's coming soon. I think you're going to have to register for the teams that you play. I think there's going to be less shotgun teams that just organize and just play. I think that's all coming. I think that's coming probably in the next 36 to 60 months, 3 to 5 years. I think that's coming.